Hi again. As we begin to transition out safely out of this COVID-May situation, for most owners, big decisions have to be made. It's time, and for some you may have already started, to unfurlough your team. And in this video I want to share with you some thoughts, ideas and questions that you might like to consider as we enter the next phase of this crisis. My name is Kevin Gallagher from Mental Performance Coaching, and we help business owners take control of their business so they can have more of a life. Welcome to another tried, tested and proven tip. In our next video I'm planning to look at leadership. Today we're looking at team, but I want to say sitting at the foundation of everything I cover in this video is leadership. This is your opportunity to step up and really show your leadership. I thought we'd begin with some practicalities in and around the workplace, and then take a look at some of the questions you might like to consider as you move forward. Now, there's no point in candy coating this. We can't avoid that there are some big, tough questions to be answered and actions to be taken in the coming weeks. So let me just predicate this with you maybe thinking, well, this is just common sense. The problem with common sense, it isn't that common. And I don't think it's going to make for a good defence if you face any challenges going forward. Now, trying to reinvent the wheel is one way of finding your way out of a problem. Another is to look at what others are doing and see if the answers aren't already out there. So with regard to how to unfurlough staff, I'm looking for a couple of pointers from the world of sport, and in particular football. You can use your favourite sport if you want to. Some of the early practices that football exhibited were social distancing. Cars could only park in every other car parking space. Only 5 players were allowed to train at any one time. No physical contact was allowed, and all this was done to help the players and the outside world feel safe. So here's the question: what are you going to put in place so that your team and your outside world feel safe? How are you going to make sure people can social distance? Well, you need to look at the hours you open. Can you spread your workforce over a longer day so that you can distance people? What's your routine going to be for cleaning? What materials will be available? What protective equipment is going to be available? What routines are you going to use for using the toilets? These teams didn't just turn up and kick the season off because the players are not match fit. They've had to train in some really unusual and different circumstances to get them match fit. Your team are more than likely not match fit either. They may have spent the last 10 weeks getting into a new routine, a whole new set of habits. So what's your plan to ease them back into match fitness? What training are you going to need to do? How long are you planning for them to get back up to speed? How are you communicating that? How's that reflected in your budget? Regular communication, probably daily, to the whole team may be needed. But you may also have to take into account individual needs, so it may be necessary to schedule some one-to-ones to find out individual fears and concerns. And now for the tough stuff. My guess is that football clubs are already thinking about next season, and in particular changes they may need to make to their team. And for most of them, the way they do that may need to change. Because to fund the purchase of new players, the goalposts may have moved, and boards will be insisting that because of the lack of income from the drop in ticket sales, that funds needed for players are raised from letting players go. So for some of you, you may have to make some big decisions. Who are you going to let go? How are you going to make that decision? Are you making it logically or are you making it emotionally? What's the process going to be? What effect will letting somebody go have on the rest of your team? Will letting somebody go affect your ability to serve your customer needs and expectations? Will you need to be totally truthful with your team and tell it as it is? Could that result in pay reductions? And if so, how can you soften the blow? And if you've got to let people go, what can you do to ensure those that you keep aren't constantly looking over the shoulder wondering if they're next? Because I've no doubt that will have a detrimental effect on their performance. I'm going to leave it there for today and continue and take a look at you and your leadership tomorrow. This has not been the most pleasant video I've had to shoot. I've covered some tough stuff that can have a real deep effect on us emotionally. And that emotion can lead to a lot of procrastination. And I'm reminded of a quote by Benjamin Franklin: "You may delay, but time will not." You may delay, but time will not. If you've got any comments, drop them in the comments box below. Share this video with anybody you know would benefit from seeing it. Thank you for taking the time to watch it, and I'll see you in the next one. Now go out there and make it a cracking day.